Hello, my horror-loving dudes. I'm Killjoy Jake, and today we're talking a little bit about Scream 6 and Scream 7. Melissa Barrera, our Sam Carpenter, was in a recent interview talking about the future of the character, as well as how they handled her character in Scream 6. We have a lot to talk about regarding this interview, so let's just get right into it.
Well, sometimes that is better.
Starting off with this Melissa Barrera interview, she was recently talking to Digital Spy about the future of Sam Carpenter and where her character could go next. In a quote, Barrera says, "There are so many places that Sam could go. That's one of the reasons that when I read the script for Scream 5, I was so interested in the character. There's so much potential here of where she could go with her mental health, she's just unpredictable. I find that darkness in her makes her that much more interesting to play and to watch. She's the hero, but she's also kind of the villain. It's this contradiction in her that I find fascinating, and if we get to do another one, I would love to see. The writers have done a really good job with her up until this point, so I trust them just to know where to take her in a way that will be unexpected and cool for fans." I wish I could just tell Melissa Barrera that I love everything that comes out of her mouth. I think that she is just super intelligent. I think she knows exactly where Sam needs to go. She also spoke with Perry Nemiroff recently from Collider, talking a little bit about how much she cares about this character and hopefully to see the potential of Sam go a long way. She talks to Perry a little bit about how she actually sat down with the writers and said, "We need to make sure that the audience gets to know Sam a little bit better." One of the biggest things I loved about Scream 6 is the character work that they did with the core 4. I really think they're at the same level as the legacy characters at this point. And going through some of the other Scream sequels, sure, there are some big standout side characters. If it's Jennifer Jolie, Kirby, Joel, like all good characters, but they're side characters at the end of the day. They're not the focus of the story. They just have little quips here and there, like Jennifer Jolie has some really funny lines. Kirby plays an integral role in 4 a little more, which is nice. But in my opinion, no other Scream sequel has done what Scream 6 has done here. They've upgraded these characters big time from Scream 5, and I can't wait to see where they go in the next installment. But focusing on Sam Carpenter for a minute, because she's definitely my favorite character from the core 4. Should they make her the killer in this next installment? We were just talking about how she's the hero, but she's also kind of the villain. She has that evil inside of her. Billy Loomis's ghost or whatever is talking to her. I know he's not really a ghost, and I know I'm gonna get a comment about that. It's just a joke. But would this work for the franchise? Would this be a good final chapter for the core 4 and the legacy characters here in Scream 7? I think absolutely yes. One of my big criticisms about the Scream sequels is that besides some tonal shifts in some of the other sequels, they're all pretty much the same movie. It's really the biggest criticism I have of these movies, and Scream 6 was the first one to really break the mold big time. Like, sure, Scream 5 killed a legacy character, which felt so taboo up until that point, but Scream 6 took it a step further by doing some crazy shit in the first 2 acts. You know, like revealing a Ghostface killer in the first 10 minutes, having Ghostface fight another Ghostface, having 2 killers kill somebody at the same time. There was a lot of experimental stuff going on in Scream 6, and I applaud it. I think that they can take that even a step further in Scream 7, though, by having an entire movie focus on a Ghostface killer. And not just a random character they decided to introduce in the 3rd installment of this new series like Halloween Ends does, because that's ridiculous. Let's have it focus on a character we've been following this whole time. Let's make it the main character, Sam Carpenter. Something that would be perfect for the Scream series, you know, a franchise who is known for pushing boundaries, would be to do something extremely experimental like making your final girl character the killer in the next film. And it's not like this would be out of nowhere like a Halloween Ends Corey situation. This would be something that they've been setting up since Scream 5. The biggest criticism I hear of this is that it would be predictable. And to me, I'm like, listen, it's not as predictable as another movie that follows the same format of opening kill, exposition, people die, and then the killer gets revealed. Because if we get another movie of that, I've seen that, you know, and Scream 6 is a testament to the fact that this formula has gotten old. While I do have a few little nitpicks here and there that I don't really care about with Scream 6, the biggest issue the film has is that the mystery element is easily the weakest of all of the films. Now, I think when I pitched the idea of Sam as the killer, people say, well, that would suck, there would be no mystery, what would be the point, why would she go Ghostface? Well, there's plenty of reasons that she would want to become the killer in the next movie. As Sam even talks about in Scream 6, basically the entire world hates her because they all think that she's the Ghostface killer. And you can say that, well, after Scream 6, though, we proved that, you know, Dermot Mulroney was the killer who started this rumor and all that. You think that everybody online is gonna believe that, though? There are a lot of dumb people out there who believe really dumb things, even when there's substantial evidence to prove that this is a thing. That's just the world we live in, and Scream 7 could comment on that a little bit, which would be fun in my opinion. Making Sam the killer would be great for a lot of reasons, but one of my favorite things about it is that her targets could be other Ghostface killers who are part of the Stab Reddit. I could see this dual story storyline thing happening where like Kirby Reed is going after these ghost faces who are all around America or something like that, like in different parts of the country. And then you also find out that Sam is also finding those same conversations on the Reddit. Maybe she's using IP addresses to find out where they're located. And then she puts on a ghost face costume and starts going after them. In that quote I read a minute ago from Melissa, she talks about how there's a contradiction within Sam that she finds fascinating. I too think that's the most fascinating thing about the character, and I would love to see that explored through this kind of storyline. Like, yes, she is killing bad guys, but she's becoming a bad guy to do so, like literally wearing the costume and all that. It's a little on the nose, sure, but I think if it gets too artsy, Scream fans won't be into that. It's still kind of based on the Scream formula too, like you'll have the characters looking for who this ghost face is, going after the other ghost faces. Like, this is still a threat. There's just a little touch of dramatic irony in there because the audience already knows who the killer is. You already know who it is, but the characters don't. Another big reason I suggest this all the time is I just don't know if this franchise is going to be able to pull the wool over our eyes again. I loved Scream 6, but like I said earlier, the mystery element is easily the weakest in the entire franchise. So what if we lose that and then make it something completely different? And the best part about experimenting in a big franchise like this is that even if it completely fails and people hate it, they'll still be able to make more Scream movies here in a couple of years with how successful this new run of them has been. Halloween Ends still made $100 million. It's still a lucrative franchise. Halloween 14 will surely come out at some point. Hopefully Corey Cunningham is nowhere in sight in that film, but you never know. I just don't want another Scream film that doesn't play around with the formula. I just don't want same old again. What I love so much about the Evil Dead franchise is that every movie kind of has the same formula, but they twist it somehow in every single film. And that's why I think every single Evil Dead film is kind of a masterpiece in its own right. Looking at the transition just from Evil Dead 1 to Evil Dead 2 is wild. The first Evil Dead is a little slow to get into it, but when it finally does kick in about 15-20 minutes into the film, it goes off the rails. In Evil Dead 2, we do this quick little recap, but then we're right back into it, man. Like, it's just, holy shit, like Ash is possessed now, it's morning. The film is way goofier in tone. The first half of it is just showing off Bruce Campbell as an actor, and we really don't have all of the characters together until the second half of the movie. It's a way different film from the first Evil Dead, even though it shares the same location. And don't even get me started on Army of Darkness, the 2013 remake, and Evil Dead Rise. All super different takes on the same idea. Take that tried and true formula and just twist it somewhere. Don't make it something completely different. Don't start from scratch entirely. Just take what we already know and just turn a knob a little to the right where it was already to the left. You still have characters looking for a ghost face, trying to figure out who it is, and some of them die along the way, but in this case, you already know who it is. It's our main character. We can dive into the psyche of what it's like to be a ghost face killer. We got a taste of that in Scream 6, and most people have said that's like their favorite part of the movie. Now imagine an entire film that is the opening scene of Scream 6. Literally nothing would bring me more joy for Scream 7 to do something like this, but what do you guys think? Should Melissa Barrera be our next ghost face killer, or no? Leave me something about it in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching this brand new Scream 7 video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content in the future. Please consider supporting me on Patreon if you want to see this channel grow, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.